Hi and welcome. My name is Elizabeth and I'll be your mediator today. Um, I just want to go over a few things. First of all, thank you guys both for being here, Miss Hanson and Mr. Milan. I just want to go over a few things before we go ahead and get started. So everything that's being discussed here is actually going to be confidential. It's going to stay within this room. I have been a mediator for 3 years now, and I just want to apologize in advance that I am really sick right now, so I apologize if I do need to take a moment to sneeze or anything like that. Okay, perfect. I have tissues if you need any gum, Red Bull, waters, and then also the bathrooms are right around here. If you guys would like to take a break at any time, go ahead and let me know, or if things get a little tension in here, we can go ahead and do that as well. I'll just go over some of the ground rules that we're going to do today. So we do have this room for a allotted time of 90 minutes. So I don't know if either of you have participated in mediation before, but we're going to start off by just, you guys can introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about yourselves and like your story, whether it's relevant to this conflict or not, anything that you want to say and have be heard. And we can go ahead and from there, you can focus your talking towards me and just tell me about the conflict in your side. And then at one point, when you guys are ready, you can go ahead and I'll help you have a face-to-face dialogue. And from there, we'll do a little brainstorming on some solutions and see where we can go from there. So I want to thank you both for being here. I understand that you both have agreed to be here voluntarily and in good faith, and you guys have good attitudes from what I can tell so far to be here and get some resolutions or just have a better future for you two both. From what I understand, you guys are both members of the Homeowners Association, and there was a conflict with an exchange student and using the facilities that you guys have there. So, actually, I think I would like to speak to Mr. Milan first, and why don't I go ahead and hear your side of everything. So why don't you just go ahead and start by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, so Mrs. Hanson and I, we're both our families have been living here for many years.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a community that has a lot of amenities, one of them being the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And
what other amenities are there?
I believe there's tennis courts
Mm-hmm.
and a park and a preschool, things
Okay.
of that sort. But
Nice.
obviously we all pay a home association fee, and we're all part of the association, and there is a set of rules that everyone needs to follow. And
what are some of those rules? Do you mind expanding on just the basics of?
Well, one of the main rules, which is kind of the rule that we're coming at an issue, we're kind of at a crossroads right now, is the one where any minor, or not even minor, anyone that is not a part of the association
Mm-hmm.
And is using the facilities needs to be accompanied by a member of the association older than the age of 12. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's backtrack a little bit. Mrs. Hanson's family has brought in a foreign exchange student, and so
Mm-hmm.
this student is obviously not a member, and although they are living with them,
Mm-hmm.
they aren't, in fact, a member of the association.
What qualifies someone to be a member of the association? Exactly.
Well, I would assume that your license plate or your license, driver's license, or like ID or whatever says that this is your address.
That's the address.
But
yeah.
Considering that he is
A foreign
from
exchange student.
country,
Yeah.
it's obviously not his address. He's just a guest for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he comes and uses the pool, and that's not an issue if he was accompanied by someone
of their household.
Yes, but much of the time he's there by himself, or he comes with his friends, and they are always, playing music or like eating food, dropping the food everywhere, and that's still not an issue.
So
but,
he comes not only just him, but also
he brings people with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just feel like, why should he be the exception to the rule when everyone else is following the rules?
Which rule exactly is he breaking? So he's breaking the rule.
Like I said earlier, the rule where you have to be accompanied by a member.
Is there a specific...
As a non-member using our facility.
Is there a specific reason for that rule, or what's the background of that rule?
I don't know. I just know that the rule is the rule, and I follow all the rules, so I expect others to as well.
How does their foreign exchange student using the pool, how does that affect you?
Well, like I said, it's only fair that since I follow all the rules, that others have to follow all the rules as well. Because, there's a set of rules and laws and whatever that are set for a reason, and so we all follow them. And so,
yeah, just fair.
When one person doesn't follow them, then what's the point in the rules if there's no real consequences for not following?
So you just feel like it could start a trend with the other members
with
or
thinking,
other guests.
If they're not following the rules, then why should we? And then the rules mean nothing, right?
Is there a history? Can you explain any history of this happening in the past, or is this a recurring problem?
So in the past, there has been issues where kids from another family came and used the pool, and they weren't accompanied by anyone, and they actually drowned and died.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So ever since then, I feel like, ever since that happened, I just feel like we really should focus on making sure
because
that everyone is safe.
In that case, was the homeowners association responsible for the kid, and how did that disrupt the rules? There was no real, they weren't held accountable, but because they were breaking the rules anyway, so why would the home association be held reliable? They have those rules. But that made you guys look bad, or was that what actually implemented the rule, or what's the history with that story?
I think that case specifically helped us realize that these rules, there's a reason why these rules are in place, and that we should follow them. And so I just think that it is crucial, almost imperative, that they follow these rules, the Hansons, and their foreign exchange.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but so from what I'm hearing, their foreign exchange student has been using the facilities and attended by someone in the household, and it's affecting you because it's breaking the rules, and that's not necessarily fair to everyone else. And there's other kids coming and causing trouble or mess that you guys are left with.
Correct.
And then also there's this background story of kids coming and someone drowning, just related to
not following the rules.
Following the rules. Okay, so that's understandable. So from there, why don't you tell me what your relationship with Miss Hanson and the Hanson family has been in the past, and why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
So us and the Hansons, we go way back. We've been living here for years. All our children kind of grew up together. Now she is just like us, an empty nester. So her children are gone, just as ours. And obviously they're trying to fill out their time by having someone coming from another country, and that's great. They're doing a great thing, But, I just feel like the rules are the rules, and there shouldn't be any exception.
Yeah, so you feel that there's no exception to the rules, and regardless of the Hansons are doing this nice thing, hosting an exchange student, but still It's the rules.
It's the rules.
It's the rules.
Yeah.
So, why don't you go ahead and tell me what your communication has been about this conflict?
So yeah, like I said, we go way back. We've been both living in this neighborhood for 20 plus years.
You live your neighbors.
We have each other's phone numbers. We send each other Christmas cards.
Oh wow!
I literally, I just gave her a call and I was like, listen, like, I understand that like maybe you can't always be there with the kid, but he isn't a member of the association, so technically he isn't allowed to be there.
And what did she respond to this
it just wasn't, I feel like it got a little heated, so it didn't really, it wasn't very,
was it productive?
No, not really. It didn't really get far.
Okay.
But,
so,
I'm open and willing to...
Was that, I'm sorry, from what I understand, was that then when you tried to do another communication with the letter?
That was before the letter.
That was,
So, yeah.
So you first tried to do the phone call.
I first did a phone call, we spoke, and, that didn't go very far, and so...
So what did the letter say?
And so then from there, I decided to send her a written letter, which is a little more formal. And so, I sent her a letter. You want to hear? I have the letter on me.
Yes, do you mind? Yeah, definitely. Go ahead. Why don't you read me the letter?
Yeah.
And I just want to let you know, as you're reading it, I'm just going to go ahead and have you read it slowly, sentence by sentence, just so that we can go ahead and digest everything that you were trying to get across, and maybe I can bring Miss Hanson into it and just see. You can tell me what you were trying to say by each message in there, and then we'll go ahead and see what Miss Hanson took from it, because obviously you guys probably read it different ways, as most people do. It's hard to communicate through things like that.
Yes. So, my letter goes, are you some sort of special member? Do you have rights and privileges that the rest of us are denied?
Okay,
if so, why?
So, right off the bat, it seems like you are definitely portraying anger by the first few sentences,
like
asking the rhetorical questions.
I've said this over and over. The rules are the rules. And so if you're not following them, there should be some sort of consequences.
This seems like a little different than what you just explained to me earlier. So it seems like you are a little more heated about this.
Well, yeah.
Than you let on.
This
so maybe were you a little bit more upset? Was it the fact that it was after you already attempted so many attempts?
Failed attempts, yeah.
And so now you just went straight into
a little more stern and like more to the point.
Okay, so
I mean, the rules are the rules. So I just want to make sure everyone knows, like, I don't dilly-dally around that.
Yeah. So, Miss Hanson, is that what you took from this letter as well? You just, from the first few sentences, how did those first few sentences come across to you as you opened the letter?
It sounded very mature. It sounded just like an angry letter from the beginning. And
so you felt like it was not necessarily the best way that he could have opened a letter to you.
Definitely not. I feel like he was not trying to be understanding. Very arrogant.
So, when you say arrogant, you just mean that... What do you mean by when you say arrogant?
Well, first of all, we've both been living in this place for a long time, so we know each other for a lot of years. And to write me a letter, starting off saying all of that is just
it seems out of place with
exactly.
your past relationship.
It seems like all the years that we know each other means nothing. And I feel like he's making a big deal out of this. The kid is fine, you know.
Okay, so why don't we just continue reading the letter, and I'll just come and have you describe what you meant, and then real quick I'll just see how you two compare.
Okay.
So go ahead and continue.
So then I continued. Our bylaws clearly say that guests are to be accompanied by the member, but it has been observed that your guest, i.e. your daughter, and Croatian student frequently use the pool separately without you. So
Okay, sorry, one moment.
I also forgot to mention.
Yeah, the daughter. Why don't you tell me about
Like I said,
daughter?
all our children they grew up here obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
they've all moved out. They have their own jobs, they're self-sufficient, whatever. And they still come use the pool. And if you look at their driver's license, they don't live at this address, and so
it's also
breaking the rules. And so, I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to just come and use it whenever they want. And if they do, they should be accompanied by them, the parents.
Okay. So continue.
Yes.
Why don't you continue with the letter? Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
And so, other members whose siblings live nearby or visit home frequently accompany their adult children and or grandchildren to the pool as the rules dictate. So, as I say in that line, there's other people that are part of the association whose children or grandchildren visit, but they're always accompanied by them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they follow the rules.
Yes. When your house guest, the Croatian student, if he is your guest, is at the pool, he is to be accompanied by you. If he is a boarder or roomer, you may give him your rights, but not dual use. Another membership can be purchased if you want to continue to unrestricted swimming. Otherwise, if he is a guest, you had better be there as well.
So there's an option that they have to either give up Mr. or Mrs. Hansen's entire privileges,
or
and
they
give
can
it to
separately buy him one. Yes.
Or okay, so it is an option to purchase.
Correct.
Him one as well, but they haven't done it.
No.
Okay.
They're just letting him use it.
How much is that exactly? Is it a fee per month? Or
I
what is the fee for
I
that
don't
one?
think it's too much. I think it's maybe like $15, $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I then continue to say there are many holes in the job performance of the association's current administrative manager that probably can be traced to you since you claim the credit for training her. Although your relationship to her is very close, this special relationship shouldn't give you special benefits. Hopefully you have paid your proper swim fees, and your manager and our manager and pool staff will see to you that you obey these rules as the rest of us do.
So why don't you go and explain what you meant?
Many years ago, Mrs. Hansen trained our current association member, and so I feel like since they have this special relationship, maybe
there's
she's
special
kind of just turning a blind eye, not really making her adhere to all the rules that the rest of us do. And again, like I said, rules are rules, and it's just not fair,
So you're thinking there could be something not okay going on between the management and the Hansen family. Correct. Mm-hmm. And so how does that just makes you feel frustrated that they're getting that treatment?
Yeah,
and
why
how does
should
that make you feel?
It's just it makes me feel frustrated. It makes me feel almost used, because whenever I have family that's coming and staying here for longer than a couple of weeks, I purchase them a monthly membership and they come use the pool. It's just how it is.
You follow those strict rules as well. Yeah.
And so,
how did the letter conclude?
And so I concluded the letter with, for a change, Hansen, put up, shut up, and obey the rules.
Oh, wow. So why don't you go ahead, what did you mean by that sentence right there?
Well, so I was a little frustrated, and so I just said, either you obey the rules or you don't, and it looks like you're not.
So you're very angry that they're not obeying the rules and that they are not, communicating well with you about it when you've reached out to them and it's not really getting resolved in any way, so you just feel frustrated with that.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And then, so what is your future step with them currently?
I mean, I would just like for them to properly follow procedure, purchase a membership, or add their foreign student onto their own program. That's all I want. I just want for some rules to be followed.
Okay. And if, let's say that is the case, or like, are you willing to, do you have willingness to work with them on the different options? And obviously you're at mediation, so you obviously are willing to work on the relationship that you guys have.
Yes.
And what are your hopes for the relationship's future? What would you like to get out of this mediation?
I would hope that one day it will be cool like we used to be. We can all go swimming together, relax by the pool, and just follow proper procedure. Maybe the Croatian student can have his own membership.
So you just want the same respect that you guys used to have previously as members and neighbors, and you had a close relationship.
Yes.
And then it seems like you also have a need for the safety of the community and the pool and the rules of all the amenities, and trust that everyone's following the rules along with the management, and you just want everyone to belong
Yes.
in the neighborhood, in the community. Is that correct?
As we have for the past 20 plus years.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add before we go ahead and hear Miss Hanson's side?
No, I think I've said pretty much everything I feel necessary. But
Okay.
I would like to see what her side of the story is.
Yes, so we're going to go ahead, Miss Hanson, and we're going to focus our attention on you and go ahead and tell me anything relevant to this case or not, and just anything about your background, your family, living in the community as general or specific as you want, and past relationship with all your neighbors or specifically Mr. Milan. And then, Mr. Milan, we will come back to you at one point to have a little face-to-face dialogue. So, Ms. Hanson, why don't you go ahead and will you tell me about your experience living in this community?
Well, I moved to this community 30 years ago. That's when my husband and I first got married, and we had our first son. His name's Andy.
Mm-hmm.
And then our daughter, she's 25 right now. My son is 30, and my daughter is 25. Her name is Sarah. And everything has been great. Our family is we're all very close with each other. And then when the kids moved out for college, and then now they're working. My daughter works at a school as a swim coach.
Okay.
And my son works in Washington. So yeah, it's all been great. So my husband and I decided to open up our home for exchange students.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. We have Peter, he's a Croatian student, and he just turned 18. And we really like him. Like, he's a very sweet boy.
When did he move in?
He moved in like 3 months ago.
And how long is he staying for?
He's staying for 2 years. So he came during summer break, and he's been helping out around the house and also getting to know the neighborhood for the past almost 3 months. So yeah, and yeah, he wanted to use the pool because the summer is very hot and we only have one pool in the house.
Is he in school right now during summer, or he's on break?
He's starting school next week.
Okay.
So yeah,
he's been on break.
Yeah, he spent his winter break here, and he's been using the pool. But then something happened with Mr. Milan, and that.
What exactly happened there? What was the first instance?
Well, he came up. Well, he called us because we have each other's phone numbers.
Mr. Milan did.
Mr. Milan did, and he said, "Hey, Jen, like, I saw you, the kid that you're having a that you're, open your home to, he's using the pool and he's by himself. And I said, yeah, sometimes my daughter is with him, like they will go swim, but sometimes he's 18, like he's an adult, he can swim.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know why he asked that, to be honest, and then so that conversation just kind of ended there. And
So
then,
it didn't really directly
no,
talk
he
about
just asked the question, like, why Peter was in the pool, without my daughter there. And I said, because my daughter doesn't live here, she has work, sometimes she comes over to hang out with him, but yeah. And
Do
then,
you guys, and so are there times where you accompany him to the pool? Is it usual that that's the case, or who usually goes with him?
Well, I work from home, and my husband works outside of home. So, yeah, I stay at the house most of the time, so I can help out Peter. The pool is not very far from our house, so I'm very comfortable at letting Peter just go to the pool by himself.
Because you feel he's 18.
Right, and he seems to be a very responsible kid, so, yeah.
So after, why don't you go ahead and tell me what happened after that phone call?
After that phone call, I received a letter from Mr. Milan, and
the one he just read.
The one that he read, yes. And we already heard from the beginning. It started off just very arrogant, very rude, and we know each other for so many years.
So you feel that it was a little harsh coming from someone that you've had this past pleasant neighbor relationship with. Is that correct?
And I thought it was a little too dramatic from him. It has nothing to do with him. And to be honest, I think that he got the rules wrong. Even though he's been the member for this long, like, he should look it up. It does not say, that the rule applies to every single family member.
How do you think this affects Mr. Milan? Do you understand how it does? Like, from what in your understanding, how does it affect Mr. Milan?
Well, he said that he witnessed, like, in the past there were accidents, Yeah, indeed, like, there were a kid that was drowned by the pool. I understand that, but at the same time, the kid was, like, only 7. So he was very young, and Peter's already 18. And this pool is actually not that deep, and Peter is a tall kid, so I totally believe that he should not be that angry towards my family.
So do you, from what I understand, you are still a bit confused as to why he has this concern?
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns with him at all being there alone without any of you guys there, or?
No, he seems fine. Every time he comes back, but you mean Peter, right? Yeah.
You're changing.
Peter loves the pool, yeah.
And has Mr. Milan ever confronted Peter at the pool?
Yeah.
Can you tell me if there was an instance of that?
So the last time, it was a couple of days ago, Mr. Milan went up to him. It was just him and Peter, and he scolded him like, "Hey, why are you here? Like, I have called your family. I don't want you to be here." And Peter was like very scared because
how did that affect Peter?
He was feeling home already, and then he was enjoying himself in the neighborhood, and all of a sudden, like, he get harassed by him, and he felt harassed. He felt that it came out of nowhere. Because he's in the U.S. all by himself, and all of a sudden this stranger came up to him, while he's enjoying himself.
That's understandable, yeah.
Exactly. So
he felt welcomed at first.
Yeah. And I
was very confused, I'm sure.
Yeah, I treat Peter like one of my own kid, and seeing him being terrified, it breaks my heart. I don't want Peter to feel that again, and I need an apology from him.
So you would like Peter to just feel at home, since that is his home for the next 2 years.
So After that incident, and after I read the letter from him, I wrote a letter back.
Okay. And that was your next communication step. So what? Why don't you go ahead? Will you read that one for
Sure.
us? Okay.
So I said, I absolutely cannot believe that a resident of our community would write such a rude, unkind, hurtful, and, to say the least, untrue letter as the one which I received from you today.
Okay, pause it there. So why don't we go ahead and dissect some of that. So you said the words untrue. Why do you feel that it's untrue?
Because he's listing out all the rules, and they're not correct.
They're not correct.
They're not correct.
What are the rules?
Well, he said it applies to every single family member, which I included in the rest of my letter of how I defend myself, of the correct rules for this community, how we supposed to use the pool, how we supposed to use the utilities, and all that. So do you want me to continue reading?
Why don't we go ahead and take a little step back again,
Okay.
and you use the words rude. Is that correct? You also use the words unkind and hurtful. So why don't you go ahead and tell me why you feel that it was hurtful?
It was hurtful when I saw Peter, telling me that he was depressed. He was sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
He can't swim anymore. He doesn't know what to do during the summer. And also, I was sad by our longtime neighbor, our friend. He's acting this way. Seems like
using that kind of language
Yeah.
towards you, but then you also just use that language back. You see, you kind of use the same tone right back at him. Is that correct? You just were also frustrated.
Yeah, I that's my impression of him. I mean, after I read his letter, that just...
So you, like, his letter frustrated you.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you were frustrated when you were writing this one.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you, when you were writing the letter, what did you hope to get out of it?
I just wanted you to understand how rude he was towards our family.
Mm-hmm.
And
you felt that it was just not up to standards with your relationship.
Exactly. And he didn't even get the rules right. It was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. So why don't you go ahead, because you said the rules are more explained in your letter.
Yes.
Correct? So, okay, why don't you go ahead and read a little more of your letter.
Well, I said, all of your remarks are so hateful. They just make my blood boil. They did. How can anyone be so nasty to another person? I feel that, at the very least, you owe me an apology for sending it.
Okay. So, not only do you feel that he misunderstood the rules, but you also now feel attacked by the letter.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you asking from him? In the letter, you said an apology?
Yeah, a sincere apology. Like, he realized his mistake.
And what is he apologizing for? What are you asking him to apologize for?
I want him to apologize to Peter for his behavior towards him, and also apology to me and my family for sending that letter. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you just keep going? Well, first, Mr. Milan, how did this beginning of the letter make you feel when you opened it?
I mean, it kind of caught me off guard because I didn't feel like I was being that rude.
Well, did you see? I mean, I see a lot of similarities between the openings of your letters. It seems like you guys didn't have to introduce yourselves all that much. You obviously knew each other previously.
Yes.
But you also didn't hesitate to just dive into a bunch of poison towards each other. It seems like both of you right away were on the attack and attack mode at the openings of your letters. Do you see any similarities between your letter and the beginning of her letter?
I mean, I can see that we were both on the attack, but I can also justify why I was on the attack.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know. It almost seemed like she didn't even pay attention to what I wrote. She just straight went right back at me. You know,
So why do you feel that she was on the attack as well?
it just seemed
Or
like
why do you think
she was
that?
discrediting the rules as if they don't exist, and she just went straight to the fact that I'm offending her or upsetting her or whatever. You know.
Do you feel that you upset her or offended her at all? Or how do you think you offended her?
Well, I can understand why she would be upset. Or,
You do.
I can see where she's coming from because she's being so ignorant to the fact that there is no rules. But if you
So
really
you think
look,
she is just disregarding the rules and feels attacked?
yes,
by you?
because I can see how she's feeling attacked because she doesn't apply the rules to herself. But if you take a step back,
But do you are there any ways that you have seen that maybe your letter hurt her? How do you think that your letter hurt her? Specifically your letter or your actions towards their exchange student?
I can see how Peter would have been upset
Why?
because obviously this is all new to him. You know, he's from another country, and like he's trying to make this his home. And obviously he's still learning the rules, but you know, we live in a community where there is rules and they need to be followed. And I can see how he would have been upset. And so in response to that, I can see how she would be upset for him.
How successful do you think your letter came across? Just as we start hearing her response.
What do you mean successful?
How successful do you think that your approach was?
Obviously, it wasn't.
Just from hearing the beginning of her letter.
They obviously riled her up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you were looking to do?
No.
Or how successful, in your opinion, was this approach?
I think my anger was taken and turned into more anger back at me. That's what it seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think that was my intent.
Okay. So, when we continue back to Ms. Hanson, your letter, what it seems like it's possible your intent was also on the defense. And so what was your meaning behind this attack towards him? Was it, what did you hope to get from being a little bit forward with him?
Well,
Like, what was your reasoning for the harsh language?
with the association membership, it goes by household. It does not go by every single member of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And that we have to be blood related, we have to have the same last name. No, it just says household. And
so you feel the exchange student is part of your household?
Yes, we have legal documents saying Peter can come to my house, stay for 2 years while he can complete his education in a community college. So he is part of our family for this 2 years. You know,
but I don't think that's his legal address. So that's where, you know, we're getting a little more technical and like, if he doesn't legally live there or pay taxes there or like anything of that sort, then why should he be able to use the you know, everything that comes with it for free?
Because my family pays for the membership anyways.
Yeah.
Our whole family does.
Yes.
What are the rules for a guest that is staying for that amount of time? Are there certain rules?
When we buy our
Is
house,
there-
they should not have a rule on who can stay in my own home. You know?
Well, Mr. Malone was explaining that there are guest passes that need to be purchased, and what is your knowledge of these guest passes?
I never knew about the guest passes. I thought they were only for parties. You know, for guests during the day. If they were reserved the
Just
pool,
one time.
just one time, they can have the pass for them. But since I'm a long-term resident, I never knew about having guest passes for,
other long term.
Exactly. And plus, my children, they used to live here, but they moved out after college. They still are my family members. Does that mean they need to buy a guest pass to swim the pool that they used to swim in when they were little? Like, how are we having this community if we're having these
family members?
These strict rules on everybody. Like,
so it seems like it's a little unclear on what exactly the rules are.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah. So what did the rest of your letter state?
Okay. Well, you are totally incorrect in your interpretation of the guest eligibility rules at the pool, especially as applied to our Croatian students stay for 2 years with their family, and to our daughter. Association membership goes by household. Our exchange student is a member of our household. The bylaws say nothing about the members of a household needing to be related or of the same surname of anything. As a member of a household with a swim membership, he may go to the pool unaccompanied anytime he wishes. Our daughter is not currently a member of our household. She is an employee of the association, serving as a coach of the swim team and lifeguard at the pool. In this capacity, she receives an additional benefit of being able to swim in the pool when she is not on duty.
Okay, so you're saying your daughter works and she teaches swimming lessons at the association pool?
Yeah.
Okay. And what are her perks related to that?
Well, Mr. Milan never said she needs to have a guest pass or anything.
I think part of Mr. Milan's case was the fact that also your daughter was using the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Milan, were you aware of that your daughter works there, or what is your knowledge of the daughter's situation?
I wasn't aware that she's working there part-time, but
I think Mr. Milan needs to get more information about the association, the rules, and
I also think that, it doesn't matter whether she works there or not. She doesn't live there, and just because you're a member doesn't mean you can just come and go and use the pool whenever you want. I don't think every member does that, so I think that I don't think every worker is just coming and going as they please. They're only there when they work.
So how does it make you feel that she comes and goes and uses the pool when she's not working?
I just think it makes me feel used. I'm paying all this money, and someone that doesn't live here just comes and uses it.
Okay, so you feel that even though she is an employee, that she's still using the amenities that aren't her rights.
And all employees don't use the amenities. They just work there, and they're only there while they're working.
Okay. So, how do you feel about what Mr. Milan just said?
Well, I think we cannot tell that is just wrong. First of all, it's up to themselves if they want to use the utilities from the place that they work for, like the gym, like the whoever works there, they can use the gym maybe for free, and there's always employee discounts. My daughter works at the pool; she can use it whenever she wants. That's so understandable. She shouldn't be paying or having a guest pass when she works there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and read the conclusion of your letter?
Sure.
Let's just go ahead and see what your final statements were.
I have given a great deal of time to the association, especially in recent years when we reorganized the management structure and hired a full-time administrative manager. I'm totally disheartened that a thoughtless, irrational person like yourself had to spoil that with such an insulting communication. And that is how I ended it.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and explain what you meant by insulting?
I feel insulted because I have been living here for the past 30 years, plus I have contributed to the association. And my daughter works there too. So having him making me sound like I'm irresponsible, that I don't know what I'm doing, my family doesn't know what they're doing, for swimming the pool, like abusing our facilities. I'm just really mad of what he's saying to me.
You feel, so from this situation, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like you feel like you deserve a little more respect as someone who's very involved with the association, and respect for your family and the person that's staying with your family.
Yeah.
And you also want to have that sense of belonging within the association and the community, and you want your long-term guests to feel welcomed and feel like they belong as well.
Yeah.
And then you want safety for your family and for your exchange student to feel safe using the pool. And then also just trust that there won't be any more conflicts. Is this all correct?
Yeah.
Does this sound about right?
I don't want other people to watch over my house and tell me how to do this and that. Like, I've been here for 30 years. You know, I'm respectful towards our community, towards other people, our neighborhoods. This is not an issue. Like, this should not be an issue. Yeah.
Is there anything I missed going over any of that?
Well, I just hope Mr. Milan understands this and gives me and Peter an apology.
So yeah, what would you like to come from today's mediation?
I hope he realizes his mistake, and my daughter is entitled to swim at the pool, and so does Peter.
So you want them to have the same rights and respect as members of the community that they still are members of in different forms.
And not just my family. If other families, they have, their guests, as long as the family allows them to stay over and use the pool or use the gym, whatever, I'm okay with it. No one should say anything about it.
So, Mr. Milan, what did you hear Miss Henson say just now?
I think that she wants respect, and she wants to be able to use the pool. Both her and Peter want an apology from me. And
how do you feel about that?
That is something I need to really think about. I've said it so many times and I'll keep saying it. The rules are the rules, and you can't change the fact that he's not a full-time resident of your household. And so thus, he must pay a monthly membership fee in order to use the facility.
From just what I've gathered between hearing both sides of your stories, it seems like you have similar basic human needs in these situations, both of your households. So it seems like you both want you and your family to have a sense of belonging in a community and participating in the amenities. So you want everyone to properly belong as members, as official paying members, and you want to also have your family belong and not feel unwelcomed at the pool. And you both feel the need to be understood by each other, because obviously the letters that you guys sent to each other maybe did not help so much with the understanding, and more were on the attack towards each other. That comes next in respect. Seems like you both would like some respect just as current neighbors that you guys are, and you've had a great relationship in the past for years and years, so you just would like to keep that respect that you've had for each other. Also, safety. I know, Mr. Milan, you brought up some safety issues with other people using the amenities that shouldn't belong there, and Ms. Hansen, you also were aware of the safety issues, and you feel that he's 18 and should be safe. you want to trust that everyone is following the rules properly, and trust that you guys will be okay in the future, and have that same positive relationship coming forward. Is that correct? You guys both see there's some sort of positive future that you guys both would like based on these underlying concepts.
Yes, I can see that.
Do you see that as well? Do you have any objections to the underlying concepts?
I see the similar, the common grounds, but there's also uncertainty for me is that I don't know
the details and the specifics of the rules.
I don't know if Mr. Milan still understands the rules. Like he mentioned again, like should have memberships, but it's not individual members; it's the household.
Okay, so why don't we? It seems like we're a little bit confused still a lot about the specifics of the rules. So why don't we go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break, and when we come back, we can go over specifically the rules that are in accordance with the association, and we can go ahead and see if there's some sort of brainstorming that we can do, that you two can do together, to see if there's a way that we can have all of these basic needs fulfilled in the future. Does that sound good to you guys? Okay, so we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, and when we come back, just be ready to pick up where we left off and have some face-to-face dialogue. Okay?
Sounds
All
good.
right.